Good morning. Happy birthday, Neil. Happy birthday, my friend. And good morning, Digi. And Neil, that train. Yeah, that's cute. I'm not going to play it on stream, but yeah, it is cute. 4-day weekend, man. Yeah. I remember back when I was active duty, we used to get 3-day weekends once a month if we hit all of our flying goals. And the one thing that used to piss me off, it tightened me up pretty good, tighten up my jaw. We would, on the flight line, bust our butts to make our flying goals every month. Some months, yeah, you just couldn't make it. Either the jets couldn't fly, the weather stopped in and just screwed everything up where we had to cancel flights. Students, I mean, we trained a lot of student pilots, and if the student pilot's mission wasn't successful, wasn't counted as a flight. And I mean, sometimes it was just ugly. And the blue suiters and the bean counters on the other side of the base used to get mad at us because they didn't get a day off for our work. Because when we got our day off, the whole base shut down for that day. Except for like the Sky Cops, the hospital, Chow Hall, and such. But the bean counters, the blue suiters on the other side of the base, they also got the day off. Now, we didn't think it was fair that they got their day off, that they got a day off because of our work. But that's what they did, and that was the rules that they played by. So that's what we did. And I just realized I forgot about a pot of rice I put on the stove. Please tell me I didn't burn this rice. No, perfect. Whoa! It wouldn't have survived until the end of the stream, though. I just looked over and saw the rice sitting on the light on top of the stove, and it dawned on me that I'd started a pot of rice that I mixed into the dog food and forgot about it. Let's see, disc golf. Okay, didn't play your best, but anytime you're off working, you're out doing something you enjoy, it's a good day. I used to count some of my best days as days I was in the boat fishing, even if it's only for 3 hours. If I only got 2 hours in the water, I counted it as a good day. Fury, afternoon, my friend, afternoon. Have y'all heard about this social media site called Blue Skies? I went over and joined it this morning because I heard a lot of people were leaving Twitter. And the reason they were leaving Twitter, well, because Trump winning and Elon supporting Trump. And they're all heading over to Blue Skies. I tell you, that good freaking luck the politics side is nothing but a circle jerk. But if you want to join the blue skies, this here is the if you want to go over there and see what it's like. There you go. I just posted a link to it. And it's definitely something weird. It really and truly is. It's at least their political side. I haven't looked at any of the other stuff, and I imagine most of the other stuff will be pretty normal. But their political stuff is, wow, it is something else. All right. This just happened here a little bit. This story just happened. Ukraine fired U.S. missiles into Russia for first time, officials say. The attack came 2 days after Biden gave Ukraine permission to use long-range U.S.-made weapons to strike targets inside Russia. Ukraine's military used long-range American-made missiles on Tuesday to strike into Russia for the first time, according to senior U.S. and Ukrainian officials. Just 2 days after President Biden gave permission to do so, in what amounted to a major shift of American policy, and a way to screw over Trump before he even gets into office. Good. Now Trump is going to have to deal with a very pissed off Kremlin. The pre-dawn attack struck an ammunition depot inside the Bryansk region of southwestern Russia. Russia's Ministry of Defense said in a statement that Kiev used 6 long-range ballistic missiles known as the Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS. The senior American Ukrainian officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss ongoing operations confirmed that the ATACMS were used. The strike represented a demonstration of force for Ukraine as it shows Western allies. As it tries to show Western allies that providing more powerful and sophisticated weapons will pay off by degrading Russia's forces and bolstering Ukraine's prospects in the war. Yeah, I agree 100%. Neil. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with both your statements there. Biden has done his best and he has succeeded. Well, he's coming close to succeeding. If he's actually trying to start World War III, officials in Kiev had pleaded for months for permission to use these missiles to strike military targets deep inside Russia before Biden administration relented and gave it assent. The authorization came just months before the return to office of President-elect Donald J. Trump, who said he will seek a quick end to the war in Ukraine. His election had cast uncertainty over whether the U.S. will maintain robust military support that it has provided Ukraine under Biden, or whether Trump would take a different approach. And because it would take a different approach, Biden decided to rather let things lie as it was until Trump actually got into office. He decided to step it up, ramp it up. The addition of 10,000 North Korean troops to Moscow's war effort this fall appeared to be what persuaded the Biden administration. No, that's the excuse. What it was is Kamala didn't win. Trump won. This is way Biden's got to screw Trump over and screw over the entire world while he's doing it. Biden is willing to throw the entire world into war over his hatred for Trump. Andriy, I can't pronounce that, a member of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, said Tuesday's airstrike hit warehouses housing artillery ammunition, including North Korean ammunition for their systems. Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed that 5 of the missiles were shot down. Another was damaged, saying the falling fragments caused a fire at the military facility, but there are no casualties. Well, thank God there are no casualties. The attack came on the same day Putin lowered Russia's threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. A long-planned move whose timing appeared aimed at showing the Kremlin would respond aggressively to Ukrainian strikes on Russian territory with American long-range missiles. The Kremlin has throughout the war used the threat of deploying its nuclear arsenal to try to deter the West from providing more robust military support. On Monday, Kremlin's spokesman Peskov said the President Biden's decision about the U.S. provided long-range missiles escalates tensions to a qualitatively new level. So there we go, folks. There we go. We are literally on the brink of World War III and possibly nuclear war. All because of Biden. All because of the shit-stained Biden. Fury, that's another way of putting it. Yep. Biden couldn't leave well enough alone. Biden being Biden, the weak president that he was, and is what gave the Russians the idea they could get away with this in the first place. Neil, if that's a true statement, if Brock actually said that, I wish he would have said that loud and clear before Biden was elected. Because it's not looking good. That was the Times article, breaking news Times article. I haven't looked to see what anybody else has been writing up on it yet. I'm waiting to see how the left is going to try to blame this on Trump. One way or another, they're going to try to blame this on Trump or the Republicans. So, yep, we're screwed. I honestly believe that unless Putin is more constrained than what I'm afraid he's going to be, there could be some real hell. Oh, okay. So, but going to, I don't know what else I can say about that, guys, other than if you're a believer, please pray to that people's hands get constrained and nobody does stupid stuff that we can't back away from before millions of people are killed. Okay? So, like I talked yesterday, the Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough, who used to be a Republican and part of Newt Gingrich's contract with America crew until he got hired by MSNBC, and they told him that he needed to start hating Republicans. And then, of course, he joined in with Meta there. They went and had that meeting with President Trump in Mar-a-Lago. And the response to this has been something else. First, let's take a look at what the ladies over at The View have got to say about this.
I think there's a lot of people who are probably looking at what Joe and Mika did and find it opportunistic. There are people who change their stripes, or maybe their spots, I should say today, depending on who is in power and what benefits them. I don't know that that's what they are doing. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's a to be determined situation, because right now it's the transition. We don't know what he's going to do as president. We don't know what they're going to do if he commits abuses of power as president. So, everybody has to live with their decision. Everybody has to look at themselves in the mirror. I'm good.
The bottom line is that America needs a free, press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever.
Where was your truth to power for the last 4 years? I didn't hear you speak any truth to power to Biden, but then, okay, I don't watch you every day.
And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news.
So there's that. So there's that. Then there's this. This is Megyn Kelly. So we're jumping from one end of the spectrum to the other here. The liberal end, The View. Now Megyn Kelly. And I put a link to, because Megyn Kelly's thing here is almost 19 minutes long. I'm not playing all 19 minutes of it. I'm just playing this portion of it.
And personal attacks will not work. My hair on fire doesn't work.
Yeah, your hair was on fire for the whole time Trump was in office and the whole time he's been running for office again. So, yeah, you see this little smirk over here on Joe's face.
We've all seen that. What also does not work is threatening political opponents with arrest, harassment, and even jail.
And that's exactly what's been happening for the past 4 years to Trump. Only he's been arrested. He's been put on trial. He's been having court cases all ranging from New York to Florida and states in between. You didn't seem to have any problem with the Biden administration having their hands in that. But okay, so let's go on there, Mika.
That is a failed path. This will be a consequential presidency. The question is whether it will be constructive.
Watch why Japanese.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to unshare that for a minute while I get through that ad. Okay. Get back to it. Hey, Raman, good morning.
Let him know that we will continue to speak truth to power and push back hard when called for.
Oh, please.
As we
You haven't spoke truth to power to the Biden administration for 4 years. So what are you talking about? You're going to continue to speak truth to power. You guys are nothing but Democratic suck-ups.
have with all presidents.
Don't be mistaken. We're not here to defend or normalize Donald Trump. We're here to report on him.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist. And I think I found the perfect phrase, go fuck yourselves.
Okay. Ever since Megyn has gotten on Sirius XM, her language has gotten rather on the crude, rude, lewd, and socially unacceptable side. I am still not comfortable with hearing or seeing a woman use that type of language, especially in a professional setting. Okay. It's I don't like seeing anybody use that type of language in a professional setting. I don't think it displays professionalism in any way, shape, and or form myself. But it's even more so when you got somebody that has her level of education, and just the crassness of it bothers me. Now, if you're in the throes of sexual pleasure, and that's a different story, of course. But just in a professional setting where you're reporting on the news, and I know it's me, Fury. I just the crassness of the language by anybody in a professional setting bothers me. But you do have to laugh that watching this come out of Megan's mouth like that.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist. And I think I found the perfect phrase: go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves, you dishonest jokes of faux journalists. What an absurd farce that was, Glenn. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler, or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump? Which one was a lie?
Megan, I thought.
And I put a link to this whole 18 minutes, 19 minutes in the channel in the description of today's show. So you guys can, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can. I'll post the link again now. Or if you just want to audio clip that, Megan saying that, and saving it to your phone as a ringtone. Yeah, Neil, there are people who need to be told that. But using those words should be as a last resort. They could never get the clue, the hint, no matter how straight out right you told them. They never got it. Then finally, that's the final words. So, but anyway. And then, let's see here. I was over on TikTok this morning, and I found this.
I am now unfollowing Morning Joe Scarborough and Mika. They took a visit down to Mar-a-Lago to rebuild fences with Trump, period. That is a deal breaker with me. We are done.
That's just a regular old person in his 60s, maybe 70s. No idea who he is. It should be used sparingly as an intensifier. Yeah, I agree with that. Fury. I wonder how many people have they lost as followers, as viewers, or anything else because of this trip. People are so diehard haters of Trump that even going down to see him for 90 minutes face to face is such a deal breaker with them. Is such a, an accusation of being a sellout that they've got to stop having anything to do with them whatsoever. Fury, that's a good way of putting it. That is being awful sensitive. But yeah, I mean the TDS that's coming out of some of these people, that even going down to do a 90-minute face-to-face, and admittedly coming out saying, hey, we're not going down there to suck up to him. We're not going down there. We didn't go down there and tell him that we were going to start being nice. But we did go down there to have face-to-face with them. And admittedly, when you're face-to-face with people, they're going to be, you're going to get a different person than what you see on television, for better or for worse. When I met Ollie North, face-to-face, in person, he was exactly what I expected him to be. I met him after the whole Contragate mess, and him and I had about a 15-20 minute talk, which was 15 minutes longer, and 17 minutes longer than I expected to be able to talk to him. But then, I've also met other people that, on television, and they're portrayed as being very nice, congenial people, and they turn out to be real assholes when you met them in person. Or at least in the time that I met them, they were not anywhere near as congenial and nice as they were portrayed on television and on the news. Okay, well, Fury, I missed the part where they said they were being antagonistic, but I did, they did say that they were told that they were going to still speak how they, the power to truth, or the truth to power. So, but meeting someone face to face doesn't mean that you're going in there to kiss their ring, as the ladies on The View said. So, but Joe Mika makes some enemies on the left. And I don't see how this is going to. I find it amazing how the left here, and this is just another example. If you meet somebody that's been canceled by the left, and you say you met them, everybody on the left automatically assumes the worst of you, that you're abandoning your leftist ideology, that you've now lost your progressive card, similar to a man card or a woman card or a black card. You've lost that leftist progressive card, and they start their way to cancel you. You've now become a cancelable person. But when we have one of our, Trump or Rush Limbaugh, when he would meet somebody, nobody would assume that Rush lost his, up to that moment, moral positionings or anything else. He went and met somebody who believes differently than he did. That's all. We don't try to cancel people or kick people out of our club, and I got the finger quotation marks going there, simply because they met with somebody that we disagree with. Let's see. Wait. What in the? God, I hate listening to myself. Okay. No, I haven't seen that video yet, Neil. I'll have to watch it later on. So, yeah, this is really weird what they're doing here. And what's this? Okay, there's that story. But anyway, that's going to be fun to watch. Let's see who else tries to cancel the Morning Joe program. We know that The View's trying to cancel them. Megyn Kelly told them to go F themselves. Got a guy on TikTok posting that he has canceled out Morning Joe. I wonder here, Let's see here. Looking at, okay, let me share these here responses to that guy's video, to that guy's TikTok. Okay, let's see here. Wow, 12,000 comments. I'm now a fan of Morning Joe. Morning Joe's now Trader Joe, the misspelled traitor. I'm done with Morning Joe. Oh no, yay, good for them. It's okay. Somebody else. It's a deal breaker for me too. Bye, Morning Joe and Mika. I'm done. No more Morning Joe. Me too. Won't watch MSNBC or CNN. Wow. Me too. Can't believe they did that. Me too. How sad how fast they sold out. Same here. They're more interested in ratings than staying behind everything they said to the American people. It's a deal breaker. So are they going to keep doing real news or keep lying? I won't watch them ever again. Only watching PBS, AP, or BBC from now on. Okay. I left the whole damn channel. Wow. No more Morning Joe. It's always the money. Let's see here. I'm done too. Agree, and CNN is leaning right. Bull. Oh man, I've got to see Hawks Nest. You need to be showing some proof that CNN is leaning to the right. I'm so surprised to hear about this. I wonder who else is going to disappoint us. Definitely a deal breaker for me. So yeah, they've got a lot of people. A lot of people saying they're going to stop. We've got people saying they're going to start. Looks like it's about 50-50, you know, for every person they lose, every far lefty they lose, they got somebody to the right of the far left. I'm not saying they're conservatives. I'm just saying they're not as left as these left wingers are going. But yeah, they got a lot of people who have decided they're going to stop watching Morning Joe. But then about half. So, you know, it looked like it was about a 50-50 split there. For every person that they claimed they were leaving it, they had another person saying they were going to sign up and start watching them. They had more staff than viewers. Okay. Yesterday we talked about Pennsylvania and the ballots that, like in Bucks County and other counties, where the boards are saying they're going to count ballots that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has twice ruled that they can't be counted. Well, once again, Pennsylvania Supreme Court orders elections officials to stop counting ballots with date errors. The Supreme Court on Monday ordered election officials in the state to stop counting mail-in ballots marked with the wrong date or missing dates from their outer envelopes. The court order specifies that Bucks, Montgomery, and Philadelphia counties, where Republicans argue officials have opted to count mail-in ballots with errors on their outer envelopes, must adhere to the High Court's earlier rulings, which said that undated or misdated mail-in ballots should not be counted. The directive is a courtroom victory for Republican Dave McCormick, who holds a narrow lead over Democratic Senator Bob Casey in a razor-thin race that is headed to recount this week. Elizabeth Gregory, a spokesman for McCormick's campaign, called the ruling a massive setback to Casey's attempt to count illegal ballots, adding that McCormick looks forward to taking the oath of office in January. Tiernan Donahue, campaign manager for Casey, characterized the litigation in a statement Monday as part of an effort by McCormick and other Republicans to disenfranchise Pennsylvania voters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are too lazy to go vote in person and you want to do a mail-in ballot, you have to understand, you have to follow the rules exactly. When you go vote in person, you've got this person on the other side of the table that's responsible for making certain that all the rules are followed before you're handed your ballot. So they're sitting there and they're holding your hand. In states like Florida, where they look at your ID and compare your signatures before they print your ballot out for you, it's up to them to ensure that everything is right before they print the ballot. But if you're too damn lazy to go and vote in person, and you just want to sit down at your kitchen table and vote, you've got nobody to hold your hand to make certain that you've done everything correctly. If you want the convenience to vote from home, make certain that you're doing it right. Is that so hard? Take responsibility. Be accountable for your own actions. And don't sit there and whine and cry, oh, my ballot got disenfranchised. My vote was disenfranchised because I forgot to. Yeah, right there, that word, I forgot to, or I didn't. That word I, you, the individual, you screwed up. You're the one that caused your ballot to become trash. A waste of money in postal service because you could not follow directions. It's that simple. It really and truly is that simple. You didn't follow directions, so your ballot went in the trash can. It's no one else's fault. Nobody's trying to disenfranchise you. You disenfranchised yourself. Dave McCormick and the National Republicans are working to throw out provisional ballots cast by eligible Pennsylvania voters and accepted by the county boards. It is wrong, and we will fight it. Your county boards are made up of, in these three counties, are made up of Democrats who have a vested interest in seeing you reelected. They're not impartial. They know what the law is, and they're deciding to break the law and the orders of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania to get you reelected. It's not wrong. That ballots were incorrectly filled out, therefore they cannot be counted. It's that simple. It's that, once again, the Democrats, just like they did in Florida back with GW, the law said, and I'll say it again, the law said that the Chad had to be completely removed from the card before that ballot could be counted as a vote. And the Democrats got people out there with magnifying glasses to look for a dimple on the Chad to show voter intent and to get that dimple to count as a vote. So Florida ended up requiring all the counties to go to change systems. Now, where I live, we had already changed systems. But South Florida had not. And that's really weird. The richest counties in the state had the oldest voting systems in the state. Whereas some of the poorest counties in the state had the most advanced voting systems. The rich Democrats would not invest in upgrading their voting systems. But the blue-collar Republican counties did. McCormick declared victory on Friday after the AP projected him the winner. NBC News has not yet projected a winner in the race. McCormick leads Casey by 17,408 votes with 99.7% of the votes in and 24 ballots still left to be counted. The counties had decided to count those ballots under the reasoning that incorrect date did not indicate the voter was ineligible, nor did it suggest the ballot was illegitimate. And the fact that date was not the correct date made the ballot illegitimate. And that is by state law as upheld by the Supreme Court of the state Supreme Court, not the SCOTUS. I don't understand what the problem is. the law, Democrats, follow the law. I know you're used to wanting to break the law with allowing illegal immigrants coming into the state and all this other good stuff, but good God, people, follow the law once in a while. Okay, I don't need that. That's another Megyn Kelly story over the same thing. (4:36 a.m.) Updated at 6:27. Shapiro sides with GOP against faulty ballots. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has urged county election boards to respect the decision by the state Supreme Court preventing them from counting ballots that are either undated or incorrectly dated in the state Senate race. Speaking on Monday following the ruling, Shapiro said, any insinuation that our laws can be ignored or do not matter is irresponsible and does damage to faith in our electoral process. The rule of law matters in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Senate race pitted Democratic incumbent Bob Casey against Republican challenger Dave McCormick. The GOP candidate leads by 17,000 votes, but the margin of victory is less than 0.5%, has triggered an automatic recount. If Casey's victory is confirmed, it will leave the Republicans with 53 against 47. Okay. But you notice what they did here, what this article did, Newsweek. McCormick is the one leading by 17,000 votes, not Casey's. So, but rather than saying if McCormick's victory is confirmed, it would give the Republicans a 54 to 46 seat difference in the Senate. They went with saying, well, if the loser wins, this is what will happen. Even Newsweek in their bias can't say that the Democrats or that the Republicans would then have a 54 seat, would have 54 seats in the Senate. In Monday's 4-3 ruling, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court reaffirmed a prior decision instructing counties not to recount ballots that were undated or incorrectly dated. Under state law, voters are required to sign and date the outer envelope of their ballots, sparking a series of lawsuits over what would happen to ballots if this is done incorrectly or not at all. The National Republican Committee, which brought the latest lawsuit, have been arguing that these ballots are not valid. They're not. The law requires the outside of it to be signed and dated. Follow the instructions. It shouldn't be that difficult. Exactly, Neil. They're trying to make it a problem. They're trying to make a problem where there isn't one. All right, I'm jumping down to trying to avoid reading stuff we've already read. Okay. Let's see here. Justifying the decision, Bob Harvey Jr., a Democrat who chairs the Bucks County Election Board, said it's a pretty stupid thing not to count someone's vote simply because they didn't date an envelope for a ballot. It's pretty stupid not to follow directions. The instructions, the directions say sign and date the envelope. It's pretty stupid not to. However, in its latest ruling, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court was unequivocal, stating all respondents, including the Board of Elections in Bucks County, Montgomery County, and Philadelphia County, shall comply with the prior rulings of the court. According to New York Times, the ruling will impact 400 ballots in Buck, 600 in Philadelphia, and unspecified total in Montgomery. So, and the other article said there's about 24,000 ballots left to be counted. So there's that. And let's see here. Apparently referring to those county officials who defied the initial court ruling, Chris LaCivita, a senior advisor to Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, posted, "They will go to jail, count on it." If they can prove that these people did not count the votes or counted ballots that they weren't supposed to count, yeah, they'll go to jail. Or they should go to jail. But even Chuck Schumer now has had a change of heart on this.
Senator-elect Dave McCormick is now invited to today's Senate orientation. Madeline Rivera has the breaking update from Washington. Maddie.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Well, we wondered if something like this would happen this morning. There is so much we're watching, not just here at the White House, but down the street on Pennsylvania Avenue. So Congress is back for the first time since before the election. And one of the first orders of business for the Senate is freshman orientation for senators elect. So a huge update this morning. A spokesperson for Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Republican Dave McCormick and Democrat Ruben Gallego have both been invited to orientation. Neither of the two had been prior to today. The Associated Press declared Gallego the winner of Arizona's Senate race this morning. The AP, though, had called the race for McCormick on Thursday, but Pennsylvania's Democratic incumbent Senator Bob Casey has not yet conceded. Schumer's prior refusal to invite
Bob Casey, that picture just dawned on me. He reminds me of the mayor from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action one with Jim Carrey. That picture reminds me of the mayor.
McCormick, because of outstanding ballots in the Keystone State, drew the ire of some Republicans who said they would stand by McCormick and would personally escort him into the Capitol today. So it appears there's no longer any need for that. And happening tomorrow, the secret ballot election for GOP leader. The contenders to replace Mitch McConnell include Senators John.
So if you're too stupid to follow instructions, you should be discounted automatically for being of an inadequate ability not to lick light fittings. Oh man, I tell you, it gets crazier and crazier and crazier every day. I never thought I would see a day where Democrats, liberals would start canceling Mika and Joe Scarborough. I never thought I'd see that day happen. But it's happening. And I never thought I would see election boards openly, and I mean openly, on camera, say that they were not going to follow the law. Say, the law doesn't mean anything anymore. We will break this law on purpose because we want it to go up before the courts. Well, darling, you got your word straight back down from the courts. You got what you wanted. You got a decision by the state Supreme Court. Not even a local court. It went straight to the state Supreme Court. And they wrote you back and slapped you in your face and said, do what we said. Only count the ones that follow the law. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. This is now going to be interesting. But the liberals aren't done. The liberals, this election has really caused a lot of liberals to become unhinged. And I got a feeling it's going to get worse between now and January 20th. This is why I went to join Blue Sky this morning. This was posted on Blue Sky by Lillian Marie. I am not going to read that out loud. I'll let you guys read it. Now, the staff, the community note staff there at X, first person posted said that they couldn't find this person. They think this is a fake. They couldn't find anything else posted by this woman on Blue Sky, so they think this is a fake. The problem with that is, if the account's been deleted, all of her posts are gone. So somebody else, two other people's went to Archive Today, and they found these posts plus responses to it. So this is a real post. I wonder if they're going to get a visit from the Secret Service. Then there's this guy.
I'll talk to you at work if you ask me a question. I may still laugh at a joke you say that I find funny. I will probably say hi back if I walk by you. But understand this. If you voted for Trump in the 2024 election, you voted against my wife, my daughter, my friends, and millions of other Americans in this country. We will probably never be friends. We won't hang out. You will not be part of my circle past what is required by living in the same country. I know you have the right to vote for whoever you want, and I know you have your reasons. I know that when money is tight and you can't afford the basic things, it's easy for you to care about nothing else but that. I know that your religion may be everything to you, and that Trump and the GOP and your church told you exactly what you wanted to hear. I know that true empathy and compassion for all is something that most people don't do well. Through no
Wow. I mean, this guy's really going to town here. You know, no, you're right. I won't exactly, you know. I never cut out a single person out of my life that voted opposite of me. I've never done it. Just because they voted opposite to my votes. Because first of all, I don't ask people how they voted. And I normally don't tell people how I voted. That's not something that I bring up in conversation. Now, people who know me can make pretty well educated guess of how I voted on most things. But I don't make that part of my conversation. But evidently this guy does.
no fault of your own, really. We live in a society that teaches inward, not outward. But I'm going to give you a reality check. I don't care. Millions of people in the trans community are being told that they are mentally ill or
they are mentally ill. If you believe that you are in the wrong body, Chaos Eve, Blair White, I'm sorry, darlings. You know I like both of you. Blair White and I have had many conversations. Chaos Eve and I have had many conversations. I like them both. They're nice people. They're good people. They really and truly are. But both of them have got a mental problem. There is no cure for their issues as far as I'm aware of. And doing what they've done, especially Blair, doing what they've done to try to resolve their problems and make themselves feel better, it's a daily struggle for them. It really is. And I've got sympathies for them. I've got full sympathies for them. I pray for both of them. But there's a lot of these people that they just jumping on this train to jump on this train, or they've been convinced by teachers. Little Susie's a tomboy. Well, you're not a tomboy. You're just a boy in a girl's body. We need to put you on hormone blockers and start putting you on testosterone treatments. Little Jimmy over here, he likes to cook and play with Barbie. He doesn't like to go out and roughhouse. He likes to sit down and read. He must be a little girl in a boy's body. Now, I didn't play with Barbie. I played with G.I. Joe. But I didn't like roughhousing. Growing up, I didn't like it. And I was the kid that sat on the school bus reading. I was the kid that snuck in books and put inside my geography book and read Heinlein or Asimov. inside my geography books until my geography teacher found out or my social studies teacher found out about it. But could those teachers have, if I was doing that today, could those teachers be trying to mess with my mind, tell me I was a girl trapped in a boy's body? Because I didn't like roughhousing, I played with G.I. Joes. And I didn't play, I mean, I was no good at sports, but I enjoyed reading more. Could they mess with my mind? Hell yes, they could have messed with my mind. A lot of this that we have, a lot of this stuff that these kids have today that think they're transsexual, they're just boys and girls being boys and girls. Thank God for tomboys. They made me a hell of a lot more comfortable around women. The girly girls scared the hell out of me, but tomboys made me feel good. They're the ones that taught me how to act around women. Tomboys did. And some of them tomboys grew up to be very beautiful young ladies and turned out to be girly girls once they grew up. Yeah, really, Fury. So, yeah, don't.
Or mutants or worse, just because you don't understand how they can be in the wrong body. And honestly, you don't care. We have people right now who align themselves with the party that was made famous in 1930s Germany, that did unspeakable things to millions of people, walking around loudly and proudly and freely in places like Michigan and Ohio. There are
Yeah, you get a half a dozen nutcases together like that, walking around. They've got the First Amendment right to do so, whether you like it or not. Just like the communists and the Marxists and Black Lives Matter had the freedom to walk around doing what they did. Both sides, and don't forget, those guys from the 1930s that followed the guy with the funny mustache. On the American political system, they're on your side of the aisle, buddy. They're not on the Trump side of the aisle. They're on your side. They're the far left that you want to become. Just look at how your side treats the same people that these people treated back in the 1930s. Look at how your side is treating this same group of people. If you really want, so claim them. Claim them as your own, because they are.
Are millions of women in this country that are afraid to get pregnant thanks to the laws that were passed because of Donald Trump. You show.
What did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump didn't do a damn thing other than appoint some Supreme Court justices. And the Supreme Court justices said that a law that was a bad law, even by Ruth Bader Johnson, said was a bad ruling. Ruth Bader Johnson. Sorry about that. But even Ruth Bader said that was a bad ruling and wouldn't stand. But the power is still at individual states. California, New York, man, they're doing there are more abortions being done today than there were prior to the Dobbs decision. Did you know that? Did you know that there are more abortions today than there were back prior to the Dobbs decision? It is what it is, isn't it, my friend? See, the man here is, spewing the left-wing talking points, but he's not understanding the facts behind them.
Showed ignorance to who Trump was, what he did, and the real world results of what Trump wants to do in this term. You called people that voted for Kamala Harris horrible things for the last 2 years.
Only, poor Kamala. She got called a socialist and ignorant and a few other nasty names for 2 years. Meanwhile, Trump, for the past 8 years, 9 years,
And now some of you think we'll just go back to the way things were. Things will not, cannot go back to the way they were before Donald Trump came down that escalator in 2015. Can we, in the future, find a way to coexist? As long as you choose hate over love and money over morality, I don't see a way forward there. Whether by voting or potentially not voting at all, you got what you asked for.
Poor guy, he's absolutely heartbroken because he is going to write people out of his life for all the wrong reasons. Okay, let's see here. Do I want to do that one or this one? Okay. What is going on here with my phone? Okay. Let's see here. Let's cover this here real quick. This is a short one. The man that killed, and this is going, Laken Riley. We all know who she was. She fought for 17 minutes to save her life against this character. The testimony of his trial.
To know that you lived with while you were here in Athens.
Alguien más que llegaste a conocer que vivió con ustedes aquí en Athens.
Giancarlo Hernández.
Giancarlos Hernández.
And how did you get to Athens?
¿Y cómo llegaron a Athens?
En Nueva York pedimos en Manhattan.
In New York, we asked in Manhattan.
En el Hotel Roosevelt.
And Hotel Roosevelt.
De Manhattan pedimos un vuelo humanitario aquí hasta Atlanta.
In Manhattan, we requested for a humanitarian flight to come here to Atlanta.
And when
They were in New York, staying at the Hotel Roosevelt at New York's expense. Jose Ibarra and the guy that's testifying requested that New York fly him to Atlanta.
was that?
¿Y cuándo fue eso?
Como el de 9 a 10 de septiembre.
Around the 9th, 10th of September.
And where did you go when you arrived in Athens?
Y cuando llegó a Athens, ¿a dónde fue?
Al aeropuerto Airport.
To the airport,
Al aeropuerto de Atlanta.
Airport.
Jackson Airport.
New York City flew them at taxpayer expense to Atlanta, where Jose Ibarra stalked Laken Riley and murdered her. When I hear the left, and this is something this is a little tagline that's been going around, and I agree with it, and it's something that I've started doing. Every time somebody on the left tells me that I'm being a racist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, because I want the border shut down and all the illegals kicked out of the country, I ask them if they're going to take 17 minutes and think and use that 17 minutes to think about how hard they could fight for 17 minutes to save their lives against an illegal overpowering and then killing them. That's what the professionals say Laken Riley did. That she fought for her life for 17 minutes. So the taxpayers paid for this idiot, this guy, to go from the border where he legally crossed to New York, put him up in a hotel, the Hotel Roosevelt, and then paid to send him down to Atlanta, all taxpayer funded. To where he tracked down this young lady and killed her. Now, I don't know if New York gets special rates or not. I know my sister's round trip, her tickets from where she lives in Ohio to the nearest airport to me here in Florida, it's cost me $750 one way. And she's coming in next Monday. So next Monday may be the last day I stream next week. Because, like I said, I got my sister's coming in Monday afternoon. 4:00 our time. And I got to go pick her up at the airport. So next Monday may be the last day I stream. But anyway, so let's say that this guy, just in travel, got $1,500 American money to travel from wherever he illegally crossed the border out to New York, and then from New York to Atlanta. The money that was used to pay to feed him, clothe him, put a roof over his head, for however long they was there. And how did he repay? He killed a young lady. Beat on her for 17 minutes. What's this here? Oh, another unfringed liberal. I should have showed this. Here's some more unfringed liberals.
Message to the Biden-Harris administration. If they see this, they see this. If other bigger creators make similar messages, that would be great. You asked us to mobilize. We mobilized. You asked us to volunteer. We volunteered in droves. You asked us to donate. We donated. Over $1 billion we donated. You asked us to fight. We fought. Now stop asking us to send more money, and the fight begins now, when you know damn well the fight is now in your hands, not ours. Stop showing us that you're going to play by the rules when you know very well that they're not playing by the rules. The rules have changed. You need to take action now. If you voluntarily turn this country over to the autocratic dictator and his clown show of an administration that he's been assembling, if you let democracy fall in this country, if you let millions of people die, and you know millions of people will die under that administration.
I love these
your
people.
legacy, and the one thing you will be remembered for in history is allowing democracy to fall in the United States. The Biden-Harris administration will be known throughout history as the administration that let this country turn into an autocratic dictatorship, and you know we'll never get it back. If the options are dictatorship or civil war, we choose civil war. I choose civil war. Stop playing by the rules and do something.
Then there's this guy. Oops.
And why we will continue, if you are wondering why we will never have free college in the United States, and why we will continue to lag behind.
Why we will never have a free college in the United States. We've never had a free college in the United States. Donald Trump's talking about having a free college, but I don't see that happening either. Colleges will never be free.
Behind other countries in reading and writing.
Well, the reason we're behind other countries in reading and writing is because we've got teachers spending more time teaching gay pride, Black Lives Matter, pronouns, and how Jimmy is actually Jane, or Jane's actually Jimmy. That's why the kids don't know how to read.
It's because the only voter base that is still voting Republican is non-college educated whites.
Oh, you mean people that have been indoctrinated by the communist and socialist instructors in these colleges, the people that haven't been indoctrinated by them. Gotcha.
If non-college educated whites didn't vote in this election, Kamala Harris would have won in a landslide. The reason that there will never be free college is because people who have a college education vote Democrat. The reason that we will never have free college in the United States of America is because non-college educated whites are the only voter base continuing to prop up the Republican Party. And the only way the Republican Party can stay in power is by making sure that as few white people get a college education as possible.
Wow. I got a college education. And a lot of it I got without realizing I was getting a college education while I was in the military. But we also didn't have very many, we didn't have any socialist or communist instructors either back then. Today, who God only knows, they teach CRT. So I imagine they got more than their fair share of communist instructors now. But talk about being a racist much here, huh, buddy? Oh, and then, oh, this sweetheart.
Do business with people who support the president-elect. And it is because I need to create a safe place for me, my staff, and my family. I won't do business with people who support the president-elect.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoopi Goldberg just went on national television and accused the bakery of discriminating against her because of her political beliefs, when actually there were mechanical issues and their systems weren't working. The stoves and boilers and such weren't working. But she raised a whole stink how she was being discriminated against because of her political views. And yet here's a young lady actively bragging how she's going to discriminate against people for their political views. But see, she's okay because she's on that side. And it's the other side that's being discriminated against. It's amazing how this stuff works. And let's see here. I'm saving that for last. Okay. One last video here that I got pulled up. I've made it clear my opinion on Matt Gaetz. I've made that clear many times. Okay. So I don't need to go saying, preferencing this once again with how much I don't personally like Matt Gaetz. But I think that he's getting a bum deal here. But the Senate Judiciary Committee, and that's Dick Durbin up there in the picture, posted this morning. Well, yesterday. This is Matt Gaetz calling for the entire Justice Department to be eliminated, including the FBI and ATF. Radical and unacceptable. So it must be pretty bad. Matt Gaetz is saying that the entire Justice Department needs to be eliminated, including the FBI and ATF. But remember, Matt Gaetz is being appointed to be the Attorney General of the United States. So what did Matt Gaetz say at the CPAC this year? What did he say? Let's take a listen to what he said.
And I don't care if it takes every second of our time and every ounce of our energy. We either get this government back on our side or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them if they do not come to heel.
Now that sounded like to me that what Matt Gaetz was saying, that unless these alphabet soup agencies, including the FBI, ATF, CDC, don't stop doing what they're doing, politicizing everything, and actually, the DOJ actually doing what they're supposed to do and not just attack people because of their politics. That the FBI quit spying on the political opposition of the current administration. That the ATF quits trying to infringe on our Second Amendment rights. And the CDC stopped blowing smoke up everybody's ass and demanding that the country shut down for no damn good reason. Then they need to be defunded and eliminated. Either the people start doing the job that they're supposed to be doing it right, or they need to be gone. Neil, that's news to me. Brandon Herrera. I'm going to have to check into him because the name is not ringing a real bell with me right now. So I'm going to have to check into that. Brandon Herrera. Okay, he's a Congress critter. Oh, the AK guy. Oh. Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Oh, man, I'd love to see him in charge of the ATF. Now that, okay, the AK. Oh, yeah, why don't you just put in there the AK guy? Oh, that'd be amazing to have him as the ATF. That would get the ATF back on track. But back to this. What I heard Matt Gaetz saying was, unless these people start doing their jobs the way they're supposed to be doing them and not playing politics and stop trying to take away people's rights, then they need to go. And I don't see a problem with that. I really and truly don't. So, other than that, the video says the ATF will never walk the same again. Yeah, you're right about that. The ATF would definitely never walk the same again. So, anyway, guys. Oh, okay, Fury. This one here is one of your guys here. And I talked about this a while ago, about this happening in the UK. I think I actually mentioned something about it yesterday. How the UK is actually arresting people for praying and silently praying across the street from abortion clinics. And a while back, I posted the video of the head of the London police forces. I believe that's who he was. Saying quite simply that they would go after anybody anywhere in the world, any keyboard warrior anywhere in the world that violated their laws on what they considered to be harassment or discrimination in their post. Well, this here is the lead guitarist of Mumford and Sons, and I've got nothing. I got nothing against the Mumford and Sons. I've listened to them. They're a good group, but listen to what this man's got to say.
A week ago, my lawyer back home called me up and said 2 of your tweets are technically illegal. You could be arrested when you return. That's not a joke. They've been clearing out the prisons to put in people now for literally Facebook memes. There's someone in prison right now. They cleared out the prisons, by the way, and actual offenders, criminal, violent offenders. One person reoffended the day he left. There's one guy in prison for a Facebook meme for 3 months. There's one woman who's doing 2.5 years for a tweet, right? The free speech is in utter peril. It's a disgrace. It's not just England. It's the whole of Europe. It's unbelievably concerning. A week ago, my lawyer back home called me up and said 2 of your tweets are technically illegal. You could be arrested.
The lead guitarist of Mumford and Sons is being told that he could be arrested for tweets. Non-criminal hate incident. Well, it sounds like it's a criminal hate incident if you're going to spend time in jail for it, because you only go to jail if you are a criminal. So, yeah, there's and don't forget, we just had that guy, that House member from the North Carolina, suggesting that the Democrats form a shadow government. And already there are people out there saying that that's treason. I'm a little hard pressed to call it treason, but I understand where their thinking is coming from. Setting up a shadow government inside the Democratic Party to be in direct opposition to anything and everything the Trump administration does. And like I said yesterday, if they do that, we are looking at some serious problems in the future. Because as I've said before and have been proven quite correct on, the Democrats never learn that whenever they do something new to try to get at the Republican Party, Republicans come back and do it to them. Use the exact same tactics. So if they follow up on this, they are really and truly setting up a serious issue for the future of our government and the future of our company. And we don't need it. We don't need that here in the States. We really don't. Why we have elected officials in the United States looking to Britain and the British government and how it's currently being ran for ideas how to run our government, I'll never know. And Fury, I mean this with all love, but I think your government is screwed as hell right now. Ours is screwed over too pretty good, but yours is even worse. But anyway, all right, well, guys, I've got errands I need to run today. And so I'll be back Thursday at the latest. Everyone, try to have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. As usual, stay out, stay with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. All right? Be good, enjoy, and maybe tomorrow, but Thursday at the latest. Have a good one.